It is fantastic to be here, to be included in this great event. We're so lucky at Ryerson to have student leaders who take the initiative to create events that enrich our lives and engage our community, and this is exactly what this is today. So I'm really grateful to the TEDxRyersonU team for inviting me to participate. It's really an honor and a pleasure for me today. You had a great lead-in listening to some of Sheldon's speech from last year at TEDxRyersonU. The whole thing's available, and it's worth listening to all of it. I know, as you all know, that his official title is President and Vice Chancellor, but it's really got to be our Dreamer in Chief. And Sheldon really has it right, that only the greatest ideas, only the most exciting things are what will stir all of our passions and get us working together to make our university everything we know it can be, and to make the contribution to our city that's so important to us. So I was asked to talk to you today about the connection between our capital projects and what we're doing as city builders. And I'm going to get to talking to you about the capital projects. You saw some of that already from Sheldon, and I'll add a bit and bring it up to date for you over the past year. But I wanted to start out by giving you some context about why I think it's important. Because projects for the sake of building projects just isn't enough to really stir the blood, like that quote says. So what is it about these projects that make them so important for Ryerson? And there are two concepts that I want to start out with, which really contextualize everything I'm going to say. And those concepts are community and urban landscape. So what is community? Community isn't just people, and it isn't just a place. Community is the nexus or intersection between those two. It's where diverse individuals, inclusive groups, come together in meaningful ways, in spaces, to share experiences. Those experiences can be civic experiences. We just went through an election. They can be educational experiences. They can be commercial experiences when you come to the farmer's market and buy something on Gold Street. But it's that connection between people and the experiences we share together that really brings us together as a community, that creates and fosters collaboration. And it's only through collaboration that we can have any hope of achieving any of our dreams. So that's the piece around community and why community is meaningful and important. What about urban planning, urban landscape? We know how important that is to Ryerson, but what's meaningful about that for us? It's meaningful because we care about the city that we live in. Sheldon is known in Toronto for being a city builder, and Ryerson is known as being a university that cares about city building. We know that Toronto is a livable city, and we know it because we all live here and we enjoy living here. We've chosen to make it our home. But we also know that because publications like The Economist tell us it's true, CIBC reports, PricewaterhouseCoopers, all of these great sources tell us that we live in a livable city. But recently, the Toronto Community Foundation came out with its second annual Vital Signs report. And in that report, it talked about how we have to be careful to always make sure we're continuing to build the kind of city that we want to live in. And what is that kind of city? It's smart, it's healthy, it's diverse and inclusive, it's prosperous. And isn't that the kind of city that we are all trying to build here at Ryerson? And isn't that the kind of university that we have at Ryerson? Those are the concepts. Those are the concepts that make community so important and connect community to our urban agenda and the agenda that we have for the public sphere here at Ryerson. So how are we doing that? How do we even know that we're getting close to that? Well, back in 2008, we went through a process that helped us to connect what we were doing with our buildings to our greater leadership agenda in this city. And that was the master planning exercise. And through that exercise that brought together students, faculty, community groups, staff, folks from the City of Toronto, a huge collaborative enterprise, we developed three principles that guide us in all of the development we do across the university. Urban intensification, people first, and design excellence. And your job is to hold us accountable to make sure that in everything we do, we fulfill those principles. So for us, community, urban landscape, all contextualized through those three guiding principles. And you can tell me if you think we're doing a good job. So I'm showing you an image, but it'd be easier for you just to turn around and look over there. Ryerson School of Image Arts. We are so close to getting moved into this building. I can taste it and feel it. I was in there yesterday without a hard hat on for the first time. That felt fantastic. No safety boots. You can wear normal shoes now. I'm so excited for the Image Arts students, faculty, and staff who are getting into this building next week. Tuesday, they're going to be in there enjoying what is the incredible revitalization of this old brewery into a world-class facility for internationally renowned research, scholarly, creative activity, learning, and teaching. It's an extraordinary contribution to our campus and one that we're very excited about. So that's the Image Arts building come to life. Now, I know a number of you may not even remember what the building used to look like. Put your hand up if you were not a student here or were not a member of this community when the old building existed. How many people around here? You know, I was here, but I even had started to forget what it looked like. And the other day I was on Street View just checking out something that I wanted to see, and I happened to trip across Bond Street on Google Street View and saw what this building looked like. So let's remember what the building looked like before. Take a look at how hard it is to find a window in that building. Now look behind you at this incredible light-filled space. And Sheldon mentioned it before, it's not only the wonderful building for our students and faculty as a learning place, but it's also going to be the home of the Black Star Collection. And the Ryerson not only gets to be the home of this extraordinary collection of images that is world famous, but also will have a broader mandate as a cultural institution for this city. Our gallery director, Doina Popescu, has been going across the world literally, finding collections and collaborations that we will be able to host in this amazing space, from an already agreed to collaboration with the Centre Pompidou in Paris to galleries across Europe and Asia. So very, very excited about what we're going to be able to enjoy in this space and the kind of contribution it's going to make to the entire city, the way it will be a beacon for people to come in from Yonge Street and recognize and enjoy our campus. So Sheldon talked about the gardens. Sheldon doesn't ever like to stop talking about the gardens. He'd talk about it all day if he could. It's a project about which we are so proud, but it's a project that also reminds us how we can do nothing alone. And without the students' contribution to this project, there would be no project at the gardens. The students were the first people who believed that this dream could come true, that we could make this building that was built in 1931 as the home of the Maple Leafs during a previous government stimulus time, that we could make this into a beautiful recreational space to increase the engagement and enjoyment of life for our students. So is collaboration between the students, with the private sector as well. Without Loblaw, we never would have been able to develop this building. And also, visionary leadership that inspired the federal government to invest in this building. There was no program that they could invest in this building through. It was Sheldon going to Ottawa and selling them on the vision of what this could be for the City of Toronto and for our students. An amazing project. We joke that it's building a ship inside a bottle. The whole thing is a heritage facility, so you can't move a single wall, so you have to build everything within. 2,500 smart cars worth of structural steel, 14 soccer fields worth of formwork. You can just imagine what's gone in to making this such a special space. And it's going to be a space not only for our athletes, but for members of our clubs, and just as hangout space, a place to go to the juice bar and get a smoothie, study while you're waiting for a friend who's having a workout. Enjoy what's going to be an exceptional facility for everyone. So Yonge Street, we hear it over there. We can always remember Yonge Street's right around the corner from us. And when Sheldon got to Ryerson, one of the things he said is he didn't want to be the university behind Sam the Record Man anymore. And I have to admit, when I came here back in the fall of 2005 to interview for the job I was interviewing for then, I actually didn't really know where Ryerson was, and I had to kind of scoot around until I found it. So this is what the corner of Yonge and Gould looked like until a very short time ago. And this is what it's going to look like soon enough. An extraordinary space entirely devoted to students and student supports. 9 floors of flexible study space, supports of all sorts for student engagement, student learning, collaboration, but also a beautiful civic space. It's the connection between our campus and the urban landscape. A plaza to sit on where students can hang out, where people will meet each other on the street, grab some takeout from Salad King, grab a coffee, hang out outside, the way that people do in extraordinary spaces, public spaces around the world. And with exciting architecture that stirs the mind and makes you want to spend time there. We know that the urban space, the physical space of a campus, makes a huge difference to the ability of students to be engaged and to their learning success. Because if we're a commuter campus, if you're running back home, you're not going to be here for the visiting distinguished lecturer. You're not going to be here to work with your friends on a collaborative project. And by giving you an extraordinary space to spend time in, we're going to say, hey, come stay on this campus. You don't have to leave so quickly. Hang out on the beach, pull the chairs together, make it the kind of space you want to work in. We're not telling you how you have to sit and work in this space. You're going to be creating it as you live it. I want to go to the Sky Lounge. I don't know about you, I think the Sky Lounge sounds like a pretty amazing place to spend some time. So the Student Learning Center, it's going to be an extraordinary place to spend time, an extraordinary connection with our community. Because being at Ryerson isn't being behind some cloistered wall of a campus, it's being part of an urban community. We're not separated from Yonge Street. With the Student Learning Center, we're on Yonge Street. We've got retail on the full Yonge Street facade of the Student Learning Center. That's because we want to be part of a vital, rich, dynamic, retail, urban, commercial experience, because that's what being at Ryerson is about, and that's the kind of community we are. So, I don't have to tell you that it's pretty great to be able to hang out on Gould Street. And if there were cars going back and forth here, you guys would be in a lot of trouble right now. This was the before. I think most of you remember that. It's pretty recent. And this is now, and you're living it. The home of, yeah, I mean, give Gould Street a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. This success is 10 years in the making. It's a decade of student activism, working with the City of Toronto to convince people that the way to make this city better is to make urban landscape a priority and to bring people out. This is putting people first at its absolute best. And we're living it right now, and it couldn't be better than how it feels this morning. Close to 29,000 people in the pilot year that we had on Gould Street at different events, 40 different events, everything from United Way, and the Pancake Breakfast is coming up again on Gould Street next week, to pop-up fashion shows, clowns on Gould, protests, everything you would want in an engaging civic space. It has been a fantastic contribution to this community, and you only have yourselves to thank for it. And we are very grateful for the work that you've done with us to make this a reality. And we're grateful for our city partners, our Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam, City Council, the Downtown Yonge BIA, the local businesses, all of whom support our activities to make this university the catalyst for extraordinary city building in our part of the city. Sheldon talked about Yonge and Dundas, and he showed you some before and after there as well. As you look at this picture, as Sheldon mentioned, you look a little bit further west down on Dundas, and that's where Ted Rogers School of Management is. In the AMC theaters, you benefit from extraordinary technology that allows you to learn in ways that no other student at any other university can learn. This kind of integration into the city, working with private business partners, working with the City of Toronto, being able to partner, really demonstrates what I started out by saying, which is that we only can ensure that we meet all our needs and really make our dreams come true by working together. So this is Gould Street. This is the kind of city we want to live in and that we're building together at Ryerson. I'm so excited to be a part of it. I'm so excited that you're all want to be a part of it. I'm excited that TEDx Ryerson U thought this was an important enough subject for us to talk about this morning. And I want to leave with you again the last thoughts, that it's all about community, and community is about building collaboration between diverse people and communities together in important spaces, doing meaningful things. It's about putting people first. It's about making our city the incredible, vital, healthy, prosperous, inclusive place we want to be. And it's about making our urban settings the kind of settings where you want to learn, I want to work, we all want to study, we all want to make it a better place. I hope we're doing a good job. It's up to you to make sure we do. Thank you very much.